What's up, YouTube's AOC again, bringing you guys my first deck profile of September 2011 format. After a lot of testing, both the dual network and locals, I decided to make this deck profile for you guys. And this will be my main deck for this format until Quasar comes out, Shooting Quasar Dragon comes out in December, and maybe even Dark Worlds come out in October, depending on how many people jump on the Dark World bandwagon. Since it's going to be a lot, I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick to this deck. But anyway, let's talk about this deck. So, I would have brought you guys a deck profile earlier, but Konami went ahead and changed the ruling for Exceed monsters, making cards and decks which use tour guide Sanguine combos useless. So my Exceed zombie deck profile, which utilized, what's the card's name? Zombie Master and Goblin Zombie for the exact same purpose, was basically null and void. So, after much thought processing going on and much ideas, I decided that I wanted to build a deck utilizing both Caius the Shadow Monarch and Lightness Darkness Dragon as two of the premier cards to get advantage and to just be a thorn in my opponent's side. So, I created this deck which I call Caius Dragon. Without further ado, I shall go into the deck lineup, and as usual, my other videos will go in-depth analysis about monsters and spell and trap choices. So, let's get into it. 3 copies of Light and Darkness Dragon, 3 copies of Caius the Shadow Monarch, 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, 3 copies of Tech Unit Werewolf, 3 Spirit Reaper, 3 copies of Tech Genius Striker, 2 Mystical Tomato, Blackluster Soldier, Gores, Sanguine, Soul Exchange at 3 copies, 1, 2, 3 copies of Pattern Duality, Mystical Space Typhoon ×2, Lower Darkness, Book of Moon, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, and for the traps we have the Double Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, and Double Magic Dream. Now, quick note on why I have traps in the Light and Darkness Dragon deck. Keep in mind, people, that Light and Darkness Dragon's effect obviously is mandatory. However, his effect activates by starting a chain to the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect. So basically, you have to negate if it's something he can chain to. All monster effects are spell speed 2. All spell cards are spell speed 1 or 2. And traps come in 3 spell speeds, with counter traps being spell speed 3. With that said, Light and Darkness Dragon's effect must activate in response to every card. However, he cannot chain to counter traps, which is why in my deck I utilize counter traps as my defense mechanism. I can set those cards at the back. Obviously, I won't overcommit to the field, and the great thing about it is that I can still have Light and Darkness Dragon on the field, negate summons, negate magic spells, magic cards, effects. So, for example, if my opponent wants to bait me for using a stupid card like Heavy Storm to try and destroy 1 or 2 spell cards and activate Light and Darkness Dragon's effect, I can decide to chain Magic Drain to the activation of that spell before Light and Darkness Dragon's effect activates, meaning that his effect can't chain to Magic Drain, which is a counter trap, saving me that negation and saving him from being able to negate, because Magic Drain will negate the activation of of the spell card. So, it's a great way to save Light and Darkness Dragon from unnecessary shenanigans from your opponent and to thwart your opponent's plays. Of course, they can negate the card by discarding a spell card, but come on. In Yu-Gi-Oh! Who's going to discard a spell card to stop a spell? Unless it's like discarding Heavy Storm to let Dark Hole go through or some shenanigans like that. But yeah, this is the deck, Caius Dragons. As usual, thank you guys so much for your continued subscriptions. I'm going to need ideas for the contest because it seems like Konami being douchebags. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of the Solemn Warning reprint, making the Duelist Revolution Solemn Warning basically null and void. So if you guys could let me know what suggestions you have. Obviously, I have mats, I have deck boxes, I have deck sleeves. So, and I have lots of cards. So, any suggestions for the format or for the, what's that thing called? The blah 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 competition will be duly noted and it's appreciated. Until then, thank you very much. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and peace out, YouTube.